Hi, I'm James from Roland, and I'm at Kraft Music to take a look at the TD-27KV. The TD-27KV is a 5-piece kit that includes 9 total pads. I have this kit set up in a 1-up, 2-down configuration, but you can set it up however you'd like. One really cool feature on the TD-27KV is that it includes 2 digital pads. We have the CY18DR ride pad, and we also have the PD140DS snare drum. For the toms, we have 3 PDX 100 pads. For the cymbals, we have one CY12C and we have one CY13R. Now this cymbal also doubles as a ride cymbal because it has 3 zones. For the hi-hat, we have the VH10 hi-hat pad. A great thing about this pad is that it sits on any standard hi-hat stand. Today, I have it on the Roland Noise Eater hardware. It's great so you can practice well into the night and you won't disturb your neighbors. For the bass drum, we have the KD10 kick tower. This is a very solid, very stable pad that's also wide enough to accommodate a double bass drum pedal. As you can see, I'm also using the RDH 102 double bass drum pedal. Like the hi-hat stand, this features our noise-eating technology under the footplate. It's especially helpful for the bass drum to help isolate the vibrations traveling from the bass drum pedal to the floor and into other areas of a room or an apartment. For the rack, we have our MDS Standard 2. This is our mid-size rack that's large enough to accommodate a bunch of different setup options, but still compact enough to fit into tight spaces. The rack comes with 3 cymbal boom arms that have a ball and socket mechanism for pad tilt and a single wing nut adjustment to adjust your boom. At the heart of the kit is the powerful TD27 module. This module features our prismatic sound engine, which is the same sound engine that was developed for our flagship kit, the TD50. The module comes with over 700 instruments, 55 preset kits, and 45 user kits, so you can build your own drum sets and save them right to the module. The tonal range of the internal instruments can be adjusted and changed quickly with the intuitive user interface. We have 4 knobs dedicated to instrument selection, level control, tuning, and muffling. On the back of the module, you'll find a master output, left and right, and 2 direct outputs. But you can think of these as 4 individual outputs that are freely assignable. For example, I can put my kick and my snare on 1 and 2, and the rest of the kit on 3 and 4. This provides a lot of flexibility for stage playing. You can play music through the module via the stereo mix-in on the back or Bluetooth connectivity to wirelessly stream music from your smartphone or tablet. You'll also find 4 analog trigger inputs on the back, one of which is being occupied by Crash 2. That leaves you 3 open inputs to add to your setup. You'll also find 3 USB digital trigger inputs, one for the ride, one for the snare, and one for future expansion. You can also use it to charge your cell phone. For studio and home recording, the TD27's advanced USB interface provides up to 28 individual channels for easy integration to any DAW. You can also send MIDI over USB or MIDI over Bluetooth. We also have 5-pin MIDI connectors and an SD card reader so you can import your own samples or for firmware updates. Now let's get into the customization inside the TD27 module. Let's say I want to change out the snare drum on a particular kit. So I'll go to Instrument, make sure my snare drum is selected, and I will go into the Edit mode. Here's where I get into the nitty-gritty of the customizing my sounds. I can change the instrument altogether. I can adjust the tuning. I can adjust the muffling from this menu, or I can adjust my sub-instrument, and this is a different layer. So let's say I wanted to add electronic sound to my snare. I can just go into this menu and turn this on. Within this menu, I can adjust the layer type and the fade point, basically where that extra sample comes in a velocity. For the layer type, you can see that it's either a mix in or a fade in. Let's say I want to bring that electronic sound in gradually. And I can change the fade point. So if I increase this value, it'll come in at a higher dynamic. One really cool thing about this module is that I can also change the shell depth of any drum. So let's say I wanted to make my snare drum a little fatter sounding. I can add some depth to the shell. Changes the timbre quite drastically, and you can really expand your tones this way. For the head type, I can change between a coated or a pinstripe or a clear head. I can also adjust how many overtones come through the mix. So I can get a really dry sound or a really open sound. I can adjust how much of that snare wire is coming through the mix, almost like turning up the volume on a microphone that's placed underneath the snare drum. And I can change the pitch of this drum. So that's different from adjusting the tuning. When I adjust the tuning of the drum, it changes the timbre of the instrument. This menu will just let me affect the pitch. We can adjust the pitch sweep if we want the pitch to go up or down after we strike the drum. The pad decay can be adjusted. And we have a dynamic enhancer for a very wide stereo field or a narrow one. As I mentioned previously, you can import your own samples via the SD card reader. To go into that menu, hit the User Sample button, and I can play my samples either as a loop, as a one-shot sample, or as a polyshot sample. The TD27 also has some advanced recording features. I think this is a really great practice tool. You can record your performance and even slow it down without changing the pitch, so you can really critique your playing. Like all V-Drums kits, the TD27 has coaching features, and these are designed to help build your drumming skills. We have Time Check, which gives you a graphic representation of whether you're playing ahead or behind the beat. We also have Quiet Count, which provides a metronome click for a certain amount of measures, and then drops out to analyze if you can stay on tempo. I'll show you what I mean. And finally, there's warm-ups. And finally, we have warm-ups. That just goes through a couple of exercises to get you ready for playing. As I mentioned, there are 45 spaces to build your own drum set, so let me show you how to build a kit. So I've called up kit number 56, and it's assigned to the default drum set. Let's start with the kick drum. Go to Instrument, hit the kick pad, and scroll through the various kick drums in the module. I like that one. I can edit some of the sounds, like so. I like that. Add a little muffling. For the snare drum, just hit the snare. Toms. To finish up the kit, I can name the kit and change the color on the LED rings. So that's a quick look at the TD-27KV from Roland. If you'd like more information, please contact your sales advisor at Kraft Music. The bundles at Kraft Music will give you everything you need to go along with your new kit. If you'd like to upgrade from basic hardware to the Roland Noise Eater hardware I used on this video, you can do that right on the website. Of course, if you'd like to build a custom bundle from the ground up, contact your sales advisor. Once again, I'm James from Roland. Thanks for checking out this video.